All right, it is Tuesday, so that means we get to check in with the Unconventional Dietitian. Daphne Olivier joins us virtually right now. And Daphne, we're kind of continuing our conversation about sleep.
Right. So a few weeks ago, we talked about some of the major things that cause fatigue, and sleep being a primary one. So I consider sleep to be the foundation of wellness because we know that if you're not sleeping well, then you're probably not going to make good food choices and you're not going to be exercising or having any kind of real meaningful activity and movement. So a couple of things during sleep, I like to think about it as quality of sleep and quantity of sleep.
Okay.
So quantity, research shows there's no perfect amount for everyone, but the general 7 to 9 hours of sleep for adults is really what is necessary to have the biological functions happen. Children and teenagers actually need a lot more sleep, so somewhere between like 10 and 12 hours. But some things that happen during sleep that we kind of forget about. So when the daylight hours get longer, we tend to like put sleep on the back burner and
Yeah.
not really think of it as being a priority. But during sleep, a few things happen. One thing that I think is fascinating is that your brain actually shrinks down. The fluid that surrounds your spinal cord and brain increases, and that's for the purpose of removing metabolites and things from your brain and from that area so that it doesn't get clogged up. So it's a way of sort of like detoxifying your brain.
Okay.
Also, during sleep, your hormones, a lot of hormones are working to normalize themselves. So, some of those hormones would be things like insulin, which regulates blood sugar, but also a hormone called ghrelin, which regulates your appetite. So, if your ghrelin and insulin levels are not well maintained or not well balanced, then it can cause you to have more cravings during the day. So poor sleep leads to not just, we don't just think this happens, this is scientific, that it leads to more cravings during the day. Usually those cravings are things that are going to be either sugar based to give you some energy or caffeine based, again, to give you some energy to help you
Yeah.
get through the day.
Daphne, this is
So,
great advice, but we are out of time. But what's a good way that
okay.
people can ask you some questions?
So you can find me on my website, theunconventionaldietitian.com, or through Facebook or Instagram as The Unconventional Dietitian.
Daphne, as always, thank you so much for joining us every Tuesday to share your insight and wellness tips.
Of course, thank you.
Of course, if you want to learn more, head to our website, klaf.com.